As is evident by the title of my YouTube channel, I am a former British soldier. I served in the British Army for 8 years, and I took my oath of allegiance deadly seriously. I was fiercely loyal to Her Majesty the Queen and to my country. I always will be loyal and faithful to my country, without question. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Oath of Allegiance is something someone does before they join the British Army. I think they do elsewhere as well, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. But once you've been accepted into the British Army, you've passed selection and interviews, you then go back to the recruitment office where you started and you take the Oath of Allegiance. This is done in a room with the British flag on the table, and it's usually done with the recruitment officer, who's usually a major. So you both stand up with your hand risen and they read out the Oath of Allegiance and you repeat it. After that is done, you are given a couple of quid. I think in my day, my God, I feel old now, 1997, I got £15, I think, but that represented at the time the Queen's shilling. And then you're all done. You've promised to be faithful and loyal to Her Majesty the Queen, her heirs and successors down the line, and the generals and officers set over you. And to be honest with you, it's a bit of a gimmick, isn't it? It's not legally binding. It's not a judicial oath. If you go to a court and you give an oath, it's binding. And if you break that oath, you could suffer serious consequences. Unlike this one, I mean, I'm threatening to break this oath now. Nothing will happen to me. It's more of an honour-based and a spiritual oath. But one that's very effective, by the way, because you do it with pomp and ceremony. It's all taken seriously, and you do take it seriously, so it kind of works. Now, as I've said, I've taken my Oath of Allegiance deadly seriously. However, King Charles III is making me very nervous. I really don't like the way he's going about things, or the organisations he is associated with, especially the World Economic Forum, because the World Economic Forum and some of the people who represent it have come out with some alarming statements recently. Statements which I believe are detrimental and harmful against human beings. I'm not going to say what they are because of the YouTube algorithm, etc. I rather want to preserve my channel, but you're all smart people. Just look it up on Google, on the internet, and you'll find your answers like I did. Now, I don't like the fact that my king, the member, now the highest member, the top member of the family I gave an oath of allegiance to, is behaving this way, or the way he's doing things. I don't like it. He has always been seen as the snivelling, spoiled wimp, hasn't he, really? He will never be anything like his father, Prince Philip, a man's man, a man of his time, and a guy who said it as it is. And he'll never be his mother, Her Majesty the Queen. She commanded respect everywhere. You never ever saw anyone shout abuse at her from the crowd, ever, like he's had, have you? It happened in Scotland. Everywhere he goes, people shout, "Not my king," or he gets eggs thrown at him. The guy is seriously disliked. People don't like him, and they don't like him because he's political. He is more left-wing politically, when he shouldn't be. He should be neutral like his mother was. And that's the deal with monarchy. You are not political. But this guy, he simply can't help himself. He's a climate change nut and just an all-round arse, I believe, in private. You saw that big meeting he had to proclaim him as king in front of politicians, and the way he behaved, like a spoilt kid, having a tantrum in front of everyone. He didn't care when the inkwell was misplaced on the table or wasn't moved. I made a video then saying he's already started as a twat, so there we go. But it's his coronation that really shakes me, to be honest with you. Now, the crowning of the king or queen in this country has always been rooted in long-standing tradition and Christian symbolism. The monarch is the head of the Church of England, and the centre of this is a Christian service, which is a centuries-old canon law. And because I've said it recently in videos, this is a predominantly Christian country, and King Charles needs to realise he is a Christian king, the head of a Christian church. And another title he has is Defender of the Faith when he becomes king officially, and that title was given to every English king or queen since Henry VIII as head of the Church of England. But this guy, he wants to be Defender of Faith. and he wants non-Christian faith to play a more prominent part in the service when they have absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, I appreciate Britain is a multi-faith, diverse, multiculturalism country, but they should have absolutely nothing to do with this. And if he does become defender of faiths rather than the faith, the predominant faith in this country, then does that mean he has to convert to the other religions in order to do so? And if that's the case, then I don't want him as my king, and my oath of allegiance is broken. I will break it publicly and symbolically. I am at heart, though not practicing, a morally Christian man. I was brought up with Christian values, which was allowed to happen because Britain is a Christian island. Wales is, or was at the time, a Christian country, the same here in England. And I would quite happily and gladly serve a Christian monarch and be faithful to a Christian country, and a monarch and country that defends the Christian way of life. And by doing away with centuries-old tradition, Christian tradition, to crown the king, he is just proving himself to be yet another instrument that sweeps away everything that we have as a people, our culture and our heritage, and that cannot be allowed to happen. And to be honest with you, I think that's what the guy wants. So let's hope and pray that the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Church of England, who are opposing Charles on this, get their way, because some things have to be preserved in this country instead of being swept away to appease the lefties and minority groups. And it'll be a sad day indeed if I really do have to break my oath of allegiance to the royal family, as I'm sure other former soldiers will as well. And there we go, that's my video. Hope you like. Please let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and share my stuff everywhere. And that's that. Until the next time, have a great day, look after yourselves, and Roger, try out.